Hey everybody, Preston Poulter here with Pocket Jacks Comics. Today, following up on Star Wars TIE Fighter. This is issue 2. Previously, I have looked at issue 1. You can go back to my videos and find it. But I've enjoyed TIE Fighter 1. I like that we're kind of looking at things from the Imperial point of view. It's a decent switch, and there's so much material out there in the Star Wars universe. Why not explore things from the other side? Now, one of the things I was curious about, and because I wrestled with this with my own story, White Lily, which issue 3 is up on Kickstarter right now. There's a link for that down in the description. It's the story of the deadliest female fighter pilots who ever lived. They flew for the Soviet Union. And in telling the story and planning out the storyboards and looking at the artwork, one of the issues is like oxygen masks. If you got oxygen masks on your characters, you can't really see their faces, and particularly with the oxygen mask and helmet, it's really hard to make out who that character is. Now, as it becomes darn near impossible, no, it becomes absolutely impossible when we're talking about those TIE Fighter helmets, because those TIE Fighter helmets are just supposed to make them all look like generic mooks that you didn't care about when the Rebels blew them up. They got the kind of Darth Vader-y face mask with like the 2 oxygen tubes coming down, and there's no way to absolutely tell who that is or register any facial expressions. And when you're doing like a dogfight story, you want to be communicating between pilots and showing expression and fear and outrage. All you gotta be doing is looking at a bunch of, TIE Fighter helmets. So, they solved that problem. I was glad to see it. It was something I was definitely looking at. So, what they do is they kind of, they show the face inside the helmet. So, the helmet is just kind of drawn on in this kind of vague style. They show the face inside the helmet, so now you get to see the expression. So, I liked it. Alright, so, issue 1, this wing, I think it's called like Shadow Wing or whatever. It's a wing of TIE Fighter pilots, and they get dispatched to deal with a Star Destroyer that's been crippled. Maybe the Rebels are going to get it. That's how issue 1 is. And then issue 2 comes up, and we discover, lo and behold, dun dun dun, the Imperial guy, who's running the. There's an Imperial guy, some admiral, and the thing about like Star Wars names is they're always goofy, not real names. like if I just go over, I reviewed seriously before this book started the Shadow Wing Squadron is led by Tesso. Then we've got Genia. Then we got Zia. Then the hot blonde is Gila, and the guy who's bald with the tats is Leighton or Leia. Can't remember any of that stuff. I'm like, can it just be Joe and Bob? Anyway, so there's a bad admiral. We'll call him Admiral Benedict Arnold, not his real name. And he's like, hey, check it out. I'm tired of doing stuff for the Empire. I'm going to do stuff for myself now. And all right, so they kind of zap into space, and it's a TIE Fighter versus TIE Fighter battle. And the Star Destroyer guy, led by Benedict Arnold, Admiral guy, is like, haha, you've been defeated, but I've been watching you, and you're like the only TIE Fighter pilots who are worth a darn, because let's face it, TIE Fighter pilots, right? So he brings him on board his Star Destroyer, and he goes, why don't you work for me now? You won't have to die for the Emperor anymore. Now you'll be, footloose and fancy free here out in the, and I'm thinking like, man, like, the Galactic Empire doesn't seem like the kind of organization you could just go, whatever, those guys, hell no. Like, can't Darth Vader kill you with a phone call? I mean, a Star Destroyer seems like a pretty important piece of equipment to just allow somebody to just be rogue about. Could do a lot of piracy damage. And literally, can't Darth Vader just end this with a phone call? Just like, call him up.
Captain Piet.
Yes, my lord.
Make ready to land our troops beyond.
I don't know. Whatever, but okay, so Benedict Arnold's got the Star Destroyer, and he's like, come work for me. And of course the guys are like, hell no, we won't go. And we quasi-end issue 2 with a jailbreak. Super cool. I say we quasi-end issue 2 because then we get this extra story with, again, let me review the extra story with Leighton. And he's got his little communicator device, and he's talking with his brother, and they're just talking shop about like marriages and trying to make family work and women and life in the Imperial service for a few pages. And I'm like, why are you presenting this to me, story? What am I supposed to get from this guy just talking shop about family life and the Empire? I don't know. It totally missed me. Maybe it connected with other people, but I was just like, whatever. I really would much rather see some more exciting plot-driven action of, like Gila stabby people with the energy knife or something. I didn't care about this guy's personal life, so that one was a bit of a miss. But I don't know. I am interested to see where it goes. And then we also got Star Wars 66. All right, so in our last issue, their rebels are on the planet. We got Luke and Leia and Han Solo, and Luke has been betrayed by one of the guys who he thought was in the Rebels, but he's not in the Rebels. Again, Star Wars names, this is so hard for me to... He's some guy. And there's a big fight going on. There's a bunch of laser blasties. And then, alright, so we have a Star Destroyer up there. Not commanded by Benedict Arnold this time. Commanded by a pretty cool, fairly malicious, deadly-seeming guy whose name is Evil Dude, and he's just blasting the planet because he's got some forces there led by Lady Queen Evilness thing, and she's like, hey, I'm gonna get your Princess Leia and your rebels and whatever, and I'm gonna bring them to you. And he's like, look, I've seen how these novels tend to go. Let's just say that's not gonna work. So I'm just time to nuke the site from orbit. All right. Okay, so he's bombarding the planet. Just friend or foe just bombards the planet, and so meanwhile, Evil Princess is like, I know what I gotta do. I gotta find Princess Leia and put her head on a pike and offer that up because that's the only way to save our lives. So she goes and she has this duel with Leia, and Leia, it turns out, is pretty good with an axe. She just disembowels her bloodlessly. Why is there no blood? I have a feeling if you got sliced through the abdomen, there should be a little blood. If you're not going to be that violent, why you have them slicing? I don't know, whatever. But Leia triumphs. There you go. I had a discussion with some Star Wars fans about this, not about this specific scene, but some Star Wars fan proposing, well, what if in The Last Jedi, instead of, what if Leia was doing stuff? And I'm like, man, I just can't believe if you give Carrie Fisher a lightsaber and you had her being physical, I'm not going to believe that she's, that physical of a character. But seeing it on the combat, I'll just ask you in the audience, does Princess Leia seem like the kind of character who can physically kick ass? I understand she can fire a gun. All right, we saw in the original firsty movie, she can fire a gun. We've seen her fire a gun reasonably accurate, but what about wielding an axe in a one-on-one duel? That seems like, how was she even trained for that? But she wins. So, and then Luke Skywalker gets captured by the evil not rebel, who's like, all right, check it out, R2-D2, you're going to come overload this reactor to blow up the planet or whatnot, and if you don't, then I'm going to kill Luke. And R2-D2's like, yes, master. And then, boom, we got the reactor going critical. And that is where Star Wars issue 66 brings us up to. It's passable. It's not bad. Honestly, you could miss it. But there we go. Once again, I am doing my Kickstarter for White Lily issue 3. It is up on Kickstarter right now. It'll be there for the next couple of weeks or so. We're definitely going to hit our goal. We just cleared over $3,000. I would encourage everybody to go take a look at it. If you like war stories, if you like historical war stories about women kicking ass in air-to-air combat, I think you might like it. Other than that, thank you very much for your time. Take care.